Hello, welcome back to Lush Velvet Coasters, and I feel like it has been a hot minute since we've done like a sit down video. The last one was like sometime around New Year. So I thought I'd just do a little conclusion to the series and tell you how I defeated my own nemesis and sort of how to overcome your fear of roller coasters. So I've broken it down into 5 steps for overcoming your fear of roller coasters. So step 1 that I would say first and foremost, very importantly, is set yourself a goal. So for me it was just something that was viewed as a lot of people's number one. It was viewed as something really special. It's an old sort of classic, you know, it's really well rated. So Nemesis was an easy one for me, but if you're struggling to kind of come up with something, think of maybe a bucket list ride, maybe you have a trip coming up in like a few months to a year and you really want to get on something while you're there. It could be something that the theming really attracts you, or your friends ride it and you want to be able to do it with them. So setting a goal, it just gives you something really nice to work towards and a really great sort of sense of accomplishment when you've done it as well. Now that I've faced that goal, I do feel like I can do anything. So step 2 is thinking about your steps and planning out the hurdles that you're going to be crossing to get to that final goal. So for me, I broke Nemesis down into a few different elements. I thought it would be good to get used to speed, height, G-forces, inversions, and another one as well was just being suspended. So obviously break down your target coaster into the different elements. So for me, obviously back before I started filming the series, I got through speed with Rita because it was just a coaster that was fast, didn't have any inversions. Obviously it's forceful as well, so it ticked off a couple, but yeah, it didn't have any inversions. It was very short, so I thought that's that small pop of speed for what, 25 seconds, that would be a really good way to do it. I then moved on to Icon because I wanted to get used to inversions. So I'd already done a launch with Rita, so that wasn't new to me. It was just adding one more element on top, so I did my first inversions and just kind of going from there. So being suspended, I decided to do Galactica without the VR for the first time, and I obviously did that on the day of doing Nemesis. So just breaking it down into small steps of different roller coaster types. I think at parks like Alton Towers, where they have a lot of world first, they tend to be shorter rides and it tends to be one shocking element and then that's the selling point. So you don't tend to have loads of roller coasters with speed, height, inversions, launches. You know, it's like sort of one or the other, or one or two. So it's a really good way to sort of slowly ease yourself in. So the third step for me was motivation. So thinking about what are you going to achieve. You know, you're obviously going to be riding a new roller coaster that you've always wanted to do, but also for me as well, it was sort of overcoming the hurdle of anxiety all the time. It boosted my confidence, not only in roller coasters, but I think achieving something, it's going to give you a sense of accomplishment and confidence just in general. So for me, I think my motivation was just not only wanting to get on a ride through sort of looking at POVs and things and thinking what a really good layout I'm going to get to do, you know, sort of looking forward. So sort of thought, yeah, I get to do a really good layout, I get to do a classic which is really well rated, and I think it'll also just be a really good confidence tool, and it was. I came off of that kind of feeling like I had the confidence to do any roller coaster. Did I expect that last part? Not really, but you know, I think it's giving yourself something to work towards is one thing. Thinking about what you'll achieve from it is another. So maybe it could just be getting to ride that ride that your friends always ride and getting to do it with them. Or, you know, maybe you'll be, in Getting Brave, you can help other people do the same. So having a sense of motivation and also keeping that motivation throughout is really important. But also remember not to beat yourself up, not to be too hard on yourself over it. Obviously if you don't get on that ride on the day that you planned, it's fine. Rethink your steps. You know, there were certain days where I didn't want to try anything new, so I just tried things that I already had done and enjoyed and kept it safe. And I think the most important thing that I've stressed before is if you're not having fun, take a step back, think about how you can do things a little bit differently, and if you're not having fun, maybe you're not doing it right. So step 4 is prep on the day. So that could be on the day of trying the final coaster or on the day of trying something new that's going to be working up to it. So I think obviously the building up thing is very important, but also sort of whenever I have a new coaster I want to go on. So say on the trip that I wanted to try, like Icon, that's a really good example. Just before we did Icon, I thought, right, I'm gonna jump on Nick Streak. I've done it now, it gets my adrenaline going, and then with that adrenaline, it got me in the queue onto Icon. So I've done that with quite a few things. With the last trip, it was Galactica, so I thought I've done Galactica before, so I'm gonna try it again without the VR, and that in turn gave me a boost to go on Nemesis. It's like going on something that you've done before, that you're comfortable with, and then using that sense of sort of relief, excitement, blood pumping, and just having that moment where you just sort of like, let's do it, let's get in the queue, see how it goes. I think also as well, something really important is going on a quiet day if you can. That was a really good piece of advice I got from John Wardley himself. So we went at the end of April, during the week, a few days before half term. It was dead quiet, 0-minute queues for Nemesis all day, and that was kind of the prime time. I think the longer that you queue, the more time you have to overthink. That was quite difficult with Wicker Man, obviously, because it's always got some kind of queue. But another thing as well which you can do with that is, if it does have a little bit of a queue, keep your head down, maybe don't watch the layout too much. I mean, for some people that might help, for me it definitely does not. So I was head down, looking on my phone, messaging friends, like talking to people. I think just distracting yourself and just thinking about that sense of accomplishment that you're gonna get. In a few minutes time it'll be over and I can say I've done it, whether I liked it or not. So now for actually facing it. So you've reached the end of the queue, you're in the station for either your final ride, like I said, or one of the sort of stepping stone rides. How do you get onto that ride, sit down and do it? Well, things with pre-shows help, because in those last couple minutes you're just thinking, I'm gonna go into this burning effigy or whatever the ride is. But I think a really good example for that is Wicker Man. So I was really scared of it. I'd backed out of it several times, even up at the station point. So the way I thought about it this time was get to the front, give them your bag or whatever baggage system, get that over with. But if you think once you're strapped into that seat, it'd be a pretty big faff to then be like, yeah, sorry, can you undo it? And so for me, I just think if I get in that seat and pull down my restraint, that's all the work I need to do. So you just need to get through that queue, which could even be walking. So you've just got to walk through a queue, pull the restraint down and let the rest happen. So the rest isn't in your control. Once you sat there, you've done your part, you've done all the hard preparation, you've done all the overthinking, which probably isn't the best, but everything is now out of your control and your fate is in that train and the journey that it's about to take you on. I think the first time I really had that was with Rita, where I wasn't excited in the queue or anything. I was just really nervous. I just kept my head down. I sort of thought, maybe I'll do it, maybe I'll just walk over. But then I thought, if I pull down this restraint, that's it. I've done my part. It's gonna happen and it's gonna be good or it's gonna be bad. It's 2 minutes tops. I'm in for it now. And I think that was something that is sort of the best way to push yourself. Because obviously if you back out last minute, just before you get in the train, you walk over, there's always a little side door, they'll always let you off. It's literally never been a hassle. No ride-up has ever complained at me. You know, no friends have ever complained at me. I think just getting in the station is an achievement in itself. But yeah, just strap yourself in and that's your work done. No matter how you react during the ride, it's done. So I don't know if that's the most helpful advice, but I think it's just, if you just break it down into those steps, it'll get you there, slowly but surely, but it will get you there. And I think as much as encouragement from your friends and taking it easy on yourself is obviously really, really good, and you know, like I said, some days you just won't be up for trying something new. You do have to push yourself that little bit if you're just at that point where you're a bit more level-headed, you've thought about it, you've worked up to it, you can think of everything that you've accomplished, and then you're just like, right, let's do this. I think you'll just know. For me, I didn't particularly think I'd ever do Nemesis until Florida, and I think I'd just done like the Mummy and everything at Universal. I'd been on things a bit more intense, and I just thought, you know what, if I go home, I think I could go to Alton Towers and do Nemesis now. Over close season, that obviously dissipated a bit from just not doing things for a while. And then when we were at Alton Towers on the last trip, on the last vlog, you'll see I just went on Galactica, and then on the break run of that I just turned to my sister and I went, I think it's time. So I think just go with your heart's instinct. I think just getting advice from as many people as possible is really helpful, because it just gives you that, you want to do it to make them happy, make yourself happy. For me, like I had a girl message me and she said, I've watched your videos, I've just done everything at Alton Towers near enough yesterday because you motivated me. And then I thought, well, I want to make her proud now. I'm gonna go tomorrow and I'm gonna do it, and and it's good, you tell your friends that you've done it. It's a really good feeling. So I promise you, the more you try it, the more desensitized you'll get. It'll still be extremely exciting and thrilling and fun, but it will get a little bit less scary, even if you're just rewriting Octonauts 50 times. I hope my ramblings made sense. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye now.